Mike Tyson once unknowingly allowed serial killer into his gym before he was handed death sentence, and he put his arm around him, right? Took a picture with him. How do you, Tony, at this point, and you, obviously, you've been big for a few decades, so you've probably made these adjustments earlier on. But for somebody that's going through it, what feedback do you give as you're going through it where, hey, I helped this client out, we went through this. How do you manage that relationship when they end up making bigger mistakes in their lives later on? How do you manage that relationship with them then? Life-changing mistake.
Yeah, well, it depends on whether or not they're wanting help at that stage. And Mike is an example. I was called in with Mike when he bit off all of his ear,
right?
And they brought me in to make sure he didn't do it again. And Mike was a fan of my work, but thought I was here to help his wife at the time, right? So I tease him about it. So I've been put in really interesting situations throughout my life where they're there. But the answer to the question is, people have a nature. And if you, the best you can is help them to maximize their nature. Diddy brought me in at one point years ago. Just was one night. I went down, saw him. It was one of his big parties, one that was about to start. And he was telling me all the things that he was frustrated with. Because you remember, this guy has been driven. We have different needs. It's another typology. We need certainty. We need uncertainty, variety, or we don't feel alive. Too much certainty, you're bored. Too much uncertainty, you freak out. We need to feel significant, like we matter, like we're important to somebody. We need to feel the feelings of love and connection. We need to grow. We need to contribute. These 6 needs. But we're not all equal. Some people value certainty the most, and they live a very different life than somebody who wants variety. They're going to jump out of a plane. This person's never going to jump out of a plane, right? The most valued, the top 2 in our culture today are significance and certainty because of social media. Trying to be significant, even if you're not. Change your pictures, change your story. That's why young girls get on there and they have this comparison of something that's completely false, and they get depressed because it's not real. Well, Diddy, when you're driven by, everyone needs significance, but when it's at the top of your list, you either have to lie to yourself or have to push yourself at unbelievably intense levels because you're always comparing. If love is your driving force, you're always connecting. If certainty is driving force, you're trying to keep things the same, which of course life isn't the same. That's the number 2.
So significance as one is a problem.
Significance because of social media has become the number 1 drive, not only in men, it usually is for men because testosterone drives that.